At the end of the day, ambition, that's what drives effort. If you're not doing the work, I know why. You haven't plugged in to what you really want from this business. For over 20 years, I've dedicated my life to bringing you the very best selling, marketing, and business building strategies to keep your business thriving. Get ready to experience the success you've been searching for. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Thank you so much for the feedback, the comments, the private messages, the DMs. And you know what? You're right. Effort. Effort is what separates the rich from the rest. Now, the question is, right? And I got a lot of messages like, Tom, I don't have the effort. Am I lazy? And I'm like, look, ambition, that's what drives effort, right? Ambition is a strong desire to achieve something that requires determination. Ambition is what it's all about, right? Ambition will drive the effort. If I want something really bad, I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. Does that make sense? So I want to do a little coaching with you today. I want to ask you a few questions. I want to unlock, if you will, a piece of your blueprint that might be the reason why you're not putting in the effort. You've got the intelligence, you know what to do, you know you should make your phone calls, but you're just not doing it, and I think I got the answer. Let's take a look. You ready? I call it the financial blueprint. So I like to ask these questions because at the end of the day, I don't want you feeling bad. I want you feeling great about your business. I also don't want you to have this big false sense of reality in terms of you say you have to do this, but the reality is you only need to do this. And when you can understand that and then build on it, that's how you win. Let me give you the example. The first question, if you and I were sitting down one-on-one, is tell me exactly what it costs you to run your business. Now, if you don't know that number, hello, you're in business. You need to know exactly what are my fixed costs and what are my variable costs. Fixed costs, if you have a lease, if you have a car payment, if you have a cell phone would be variable, your ad spend could be variable or it's fixed. The bottom line is you should know exactly what it costs you to run your business. The second thing is, what does it cost you to run your home? And then you combine those two. And you see, I did some just easy numbers. I've got clients in New York City that would say, oh my goodness, that's $25,000 and that's $24,000, but just for easy numbers, right? Let's say it's $9,000. Then I'm going to ask you, well, how much outside income do you receive? I had a client up in Seattle who said to me, Tom, I just don't understand why all my friends are, in the program and they're making all this money and I'm just, I can't seem to sell more than 7 or 8 homes a year. And I said, well, so what does it cost you to run your business? She's like, oh, it cost me like $8,000. I'm like, great. What does it cost you to run your household? She's like, $8,000. I'm like, how much inside or outside income do you have? She goes, like $40,000 a month. I'm like, wow, hello. Kind of kills the ambition when you've got more money coming in. It kills some of the drive. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I'd like every one of us to be in that situation, but she was struggling with a lack of ambition because there was more money coming in than she could spend. The business became a hobby for her. Does that make sense? So consider, what if the outside income is $4,000, so the difference is 5 for you, that you are responsible for $5,000 a month. And maybe that number, if you're in a relationship, it's less, maybe it's more. If you're single, it's all on you, unless your dog or cat is somehow bringing in some cash. So the reality is, you've got a number that you are 100% responsible for. That's what we got to discover. Then I'm going to ask you, what's your average commission check after taxes? After taxes, not your average commission check. What's your average commission check after you allocate your money, like we talked about on the Tom Ferry Show, aside for taxes? How much do you net after that? Therefore, once I know that number, and I put 5 as an example, then you know exactly how many transactions you have to close. You know exactly what you have to close. And this is where it gets interesting. Because when people see that number, I want to remind you, that number's about survival. That number's not about savings. That number's not about security. That number's not about rainy day accounts. That number's certainly not about having your wealth creation in your fund account. It is your survival number. And what's shocking to me is the number of people that are in our industry that operate as if they were in a coma. They close a transaction, they spend all the money. They close a transaction, they spend all the money. They close a transaction, they spend all the money. They're purely in survival mode. If you're in survival mode right now, own that. Own that. Own it. Say to yourself, my goodness, I'm working how many hours a day, how many days a week, right? All these years, and I've been operating in survival mode. Awareness is the first step to change. The moment you could say, hello, my name is, and I've been selling real estate in survival mode, and know this, I have agents that I've met with that are making $700,000 or $800,000 a year, that because their costs and expenses were so high, they were in survival mode, making $700,000 or $800,000 a year. You gotta own it. And then we ask ourselves some other questions. Ready? If we wanna stoke the fire of ambition, if you really wanna turn it on, if you really, really in your heart of hearts know that your effort isn't matching what you really know you're capable of, we gotta stoke the fire of ambition and find out what is it that you want so badly that you will do whatever it takes to realize that goal, where determination becomes the key factor to your success. I don't know if you saw the movie The Founder about Ray Kroc and McDonald's. If you have, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I just saw it on a flight home recently. Fabulous film. Michael Keaton did an amazing job and deserves lots of awards for it, in my opinion. The story of this guy who is just fighting every single day, ambition and effort. That's how he was able to do it. It was fighting for what he wanted every single day. Ambition and effort. My question for you is, what do you want so badly you can't live without it? What do you want so badly that you're willing to put your butt on the line and do whatever it takes? You know what my experience is? 20 plus years of coaching. Most people don't have something like that. So they don't have the effort. They don't have the drive. They don't have the ambition. They're in survival mode. Hey, look, I guess the world just needs some survivors. If that's your game, turn this off and say, no, Tom, I'm just gonna go right back, plug the IV in my arm, I'm gonna go right back into my real estate coma and be fine. I don't think you'd be watching this show if that was you. What do you want? I think you should have a journal, put it on Evernote, get it on your wall. What do I want so badly that I can't live without it? And just start writing stuff down. See what happens. Let the fire of ambition just get stoked. Then I ask you this question. Who do you want to take care of? Who do you want to take care of? Think about it. Parents, friends, your church, your community. Maybe there's like for me, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, right? That's super near and dear to my heart. Prior to that, it was building an orphanage in Africa with my kids and my friends and their families and being a part of that experience, right? Who do you want to help? I think back to many clients that I've worked with. Christina Martinez, a decade plus ago, she wanted to help the children of San Jose. And we worked on these numbers. And then I said, well, what do you really want? She said, I would love nothing more than to buy a piece of land and build a building and donate it to my church. We worked on the plan, we reverse engineered all the numbers, and you know what? She realized that goal. And today outside my office, I have this giant eagle that she sent me as a thank you for stoking the fire of ambition. A woman that was already wildly successful, but we found inside her something that was meaningful, something with purpose, that gave her the juice and the drive and the determination to make phone calls, to take more listings, to make more sales, because it was no longer about her. I don't know where you are today. Maybe it's this, maybe it's this. But then I gotta ask you this, do you wanna retire? I mean, think about it. Like, how do most real estate professionals retire, right? I mean, in the middle of a sales meeting, they just pass out, right? I mean, that's a horrible thought, but it happens. This is an industry full of people that just fade away. And many of them, my friend, they do not have the money to take care of themselves. They're forced to have the government or their family take care of them because they didn't make good decisions. In 17% of the GDP of the US, this trillion-dollar industry, and they couldn't figure it out because they never said, this is how much I want, and here's the time frame I want to do it in. Now, you're watching this, and you're either going, yeah, oh, okay, so, all right, Tom, yeah, I'll make a little comment or not, right? Or you're like this, screw you, Tom Ferry, I'm gonna get on it. That's the reaction I want. I want you to put yourself in a position where your ambition is on fire, where your effort becomes automatic, but you've got to ask yourself the questions, what do I really want? What is really important to me? Who do I want to contribute to? Who will I do more work, make more phone calls, do whatever it takes, because I do it for them. I wouldn't maybe do it for myself. And then, hey, How about retiring one day? How about actually being in a place where you can drive past a for sale by owner and laugh your ass off? Wouldn't that be great? Ha ha ha, right? Because you've saved so much money. You made so many good investments. You're now at a great place. So then I say to you, look, you answer these questions, figure out the numbers, and then what do? You add it up and you convert it to after-tax transactions. How many transactions would I have to do to take care of this? How many transactions to get that second home, to buy that new fourplex, to put myself in a better position? How many additional transactions to save the kind of money so maybe I don't want to retire. Maybe I want to be selling real estate at 138 years old, but you're in a position where you don't have to. Boy, how powerful that would be. You add it up and you convert it to transactions, and then what do? We divide it by 40 conversations to a sale. And you know what you do? You get to work. You get to work. Look, this is your time. Every indicator, as we've discussed, is saying right now, there has never been a greater time than right now to be crushing it, to be selling more properties, doing more business, making more money, and saving more money. And yet, when this ends, because it always does, once again, we'll have the rich and the rest. Ambition and effort. That's all it is. Ambition and effort. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to see your comments. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We have a number of events coming up, and we'd love to have you there. Visit tomferry.com/events and reserve your spot today.